everybody. Welcome back to Babble and Bullshit, the Nerdcast. Because it is the Nerdcast.
That's what it is.
We're giant nerds. I'm Will.
I'm Lilith.
It's a pleasure having you here with us today. We're going to end our Ahsoka series. The finale was really only like 30 minutes of the last episode, but so much happened.
There's so much. My God.
Like, sweet mother of God. Shit, even the last 30 seconds, so much, or the last like 2 minutes, so much happened.
Oh my God.
But we will get there. So to catch everyone up a little bit, Ezra has reunited with Sabine and Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. Sabine has crashed Ahsoka's ship.
Shocking.
Which, of course.
Another happy landing.
Yeah. I mean, it's Sabine. If she's not gonna blow it up, she's gonna crash it. Like, it's those.
True. That's true. Yeah.
Those are the options.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hu Yang's annoyed, and Ezra makes a lightsaber.
I mean, when isn't he annoyed?
Just okay. Hu Yang is being Hu Yang.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's just generally sort of annoyed with everyone at all times.
Sure.
Which, I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
I also am just pretty. That's just my constant.
Yeah. Slightly irritated at all times.
Yeah, it's my baseline.
Yeah. Honestly, the world's easier to interact with that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we have the turtle guys, who are super cool.
I love them. They're so
Never
cute.
find out what they're called, I don't think. To the computer, looking it up.
One second. Hang on.
Honestly, I prefer turtle guys. Because that's they're turtle guys. Like, they even have little turtle ships. Like, they're turtle guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're super cute. They're very adorable. I do like them when they try to help with the fight with the troopers. They throw shit at them. You're just like, good job, you tried. Yay. So proud. Okay. But at this point, Ezra's built a new saber, which is good. And we had a nice little touching moment where Hu Yang remembered Kanan by his original name, Caleb Doom. So what are the turtle guys called? Does it say?
Looking. Hold on. Hang on. 1 second.
Now, you really are determined to find out what the turtle guys are called. It doesn't matter that much.
No, it does matter. It matters to me. The Noti.
Okay, they're called the Noti.
They're so cute. And I love them.
They're absolutely adorable.
They're so fucking cute. And they're like,
Well, I also love that Ezra found, Ezra was marooned on a planet in another galaxy and found little friends.
Yeah, and he speaks their language.
Yeah.
He learned how to speak their language. It's fucking adorable.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I mean, if you're stuck with them, eventually you have to learn something.
Yeah, they're so cute. I love them.
It's also been 20 years. If he hadn't learned a damn thing in 20 years, I'd be kind of annoyed with him.
True. That's true.
I'm not terribly quick, but
No, you're not.
If it's been 20 years, I could at least communicate with someone a little bit. I said a little bit. I said a little bit. We're probably not wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
But they've been reunited. Happy reunion moment. Ahsoka's reunion with Ezra was it's Ahsoka. She's super happy.
Yes.
Yeah. Sabine's was a little more mellow because that's just how Sabine is. Mm-hmm. And now they have to get to Thrawn's ship because that's their way home. Because like I said last episode, I don't know if there's a way to summon Purgle.
Please come get us.
In case you can't tell, we're both really tired.
I'm so sorry.
It's great.
I think I may have had my first experience with lucid dreaming.
Yeah, Lil's been weird all day.
I'm in a weird place. I'm also just I don't know. I think intrusive thoughts are happening because it's winter.
Yeah.
So
Also, it's winter and we live in Ohio, so we're in gray season now.
In gray season and seasonal depression.
Is a thing. Is a thing.
So we're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing so great. Yay. But we pick up at the moment where basically they've decided they have to get on Thrawn's ship, otherwise they're going to get left behind.
Yes.
So they get their, wolf horses, who are awesome. One of them's hiding in the little turtle guys in the Nodi ship.
That's so cute.
During the fight, just a little scared.
Like, I don't know what to do.
Which is so cool.
So cute.
And okay, so just to make sure that we're all on the same page here, Thrawn attacked the Nodi who were with Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine, not to try to kill them because he withdraws his troops towards the fight. He's trying to slow them down because if you strand them on a planet in another galaxy or kill them, the effect is the same. So he's just trying to
just slow them down.
Yeah.
Which is honestly a brilliant tactic.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about killing them. You don't have to expend that many troops or that many resources.
Yeah.
You just have to keep them distracted long enough for you to not be there anymore.
Correct.
And then they cannot touch you regardless. So you're fine. So here comes now they have to get to the tower. Okay. Any other version of Star Wars, any other version of any sci-fi TV show, there'd be ground troops. And then there'd be a fight trying to get to the tower. Mm-hmm. This is Thrawn, however, and he realizes that he's standing on board a ship literally covered in guns. Yeah. I mean, it's Thrawn. That makes sense. The fact that he couldn't hit them also makes sense. Those guns aren't designed for that. Like, little tiny targets very far away. These are big-ass cannons meant to be shooting at other capital ships. Not... Yeah, that's what they're designed for. And actually, this goes back into Star Wars lore. Star Destroyers were not meant to interdict small ships like fighters. Their own fighters were supposed to do that. So they didn't have point defense weapons. That's what their own TIE squadrons were for. Our heroes make it to the door at the very last minute.
One of my favorite things, though, is how, of course, they were sitting... Like, Morgan was like, they're not going to go to the front door. And Thrawn was like, okay, what did I just say about who her master was, though?
Yeah.
And she was just like, no, they're not that stupid. And Ahsoka was like,
we're going to go in the front.
We're going to go through the front door. I think that's just the smartest thing to do. We're going to go through the front door, which is very much an Anakin move.
It absolutely is.
Because Anakin has done that. Anakin's like, ooh, front door.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the front door. And Thrawn was like, they're going to go through the front door.
Yeah.
And so they go through the front door.
Because it's the most aggressive move. And that was kind of Anakin's whole strategy as a general was he did, he had his, a few, more finesse moments.
Yeah.
When he had the troops hiding under the bridge and he stood there and he tried to shoop. Yeah. He just dodged a blaster bolt. Shoop. And then tried to sarcastically surrender for long enough for his troops to get in position.
Yeah.
So he was capable of, more deceptive tactics.
But one thing that I always appreciated about Anakin was that he would never do anything without being the first person, in the line of fire. He always did everything as the first person there.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka is exactly the same way.
Mm-hmm. Anakin led from the front. Ahsoka leads from the front.
Yeah.
And that's what she learned from him. And that's actually why it's important that earlier in these episodes, Thrawn finds out from Morgan that Ahsoka's master was Anakin Skywalker because Thrawn knew Anakin and as Vader. Mm-hmm. So Thrawn needs information. That's what Thrawn thrives on. Mm-hmm. Knowing that helps him know what Ahsoka's going to do.
Yep.
And he's not wrong. Mm-hmm. That direct approach was the fastest approach possible, which is the only thing they could do because Thrawn was leaving very soon and they needed to get in very soon.
Yes.
They didn't have time for a stealthy approach or anything like that. They needed to get in quick, which meant they were going to go with the most aggressive tactic. That's what Anakin would have done. It's the correct choice.
Yes.
Yeah. The turbo laser fire, I don't think was even meant to try to kill them. I don't think Thrawn thought that was going to kill them.
No, that was not his intent. Again, it was another tactic to slow them down.
Yeah.
Not to kill.
And this all goes back to Thrawn planning 25 moves ahead. Because if you can if you can slow them down long enough, you can get more troops in position. You can finish more of your launch preparations. You can get a little bit closer to getting away from them, and then strand them on a planet in another galaxy.
Yeah.
Whether they're alive or dead at that point doesn't matter.
He's playing chess. Everyone else is playing fucking Monopoly.
Yeah,
I don't like.
Everyone else is trying to figure out how to set up the checkers board. He's playing 3-dimensional chess, and he's already taken the checkers board. No one's noticed.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah, he's brilliant. And I heard a lot. I've heard a lot of comments about Thrawn's tactics were flawed. I'm like, yeah, but your problem is you're assuming that his tactics are to either kill Ezra, Sabine, and Ahsoka.
Right.
You're assuming that's what his goal is. That's not his goal.
No.
That could be. That's one of his goals. If that happens to be possible, then I'm sure he would go for it. But at the end, he just wants to get off that planet, back to his own galaxy. And if they're dead or stranded, the effect is the same.
Right.
So it doesn't matter which one he goes for. So he's literally playing down the middle and then waiting for the opportunity to pick one or the other. And I'm sure if the turbo laser fire had killed them, he wouldn't have been mad about it. Like, all right, cool. That helps.
Right.
But that was not the original design. That was, again, to slow them down.
Yeah.
That's also where, and this, I love the deep dive into the lore here, that's also where the Death Troopers came into play.
Yep.
Love that they dove deep into the the lore for this.
Yeah.
And so the Death Troopers are, we'll stick with what was shown in the show. The Night Mothers basically enchanted a bunch of troopers so that when they get killed, they get back up. Zombie troopers.
Yep.
And I did love that everyone was surprised by it.
Everyone went, the fuck? What is happening?
Ezra basically was like, is this a new thing? And they're like, no, this is not what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
And it was, I also loved in that fight that Ahsoka took on the general's role. They're, parrying blaster bolts left and right, which is what they do. And then Ahsoka looks at Sabine and goes, Sabine, blasters. And Sabine, out comes a blasters. Now here's the Mandalorian. They're starting to play more to Sabine's dual training.
Yes.
Which I very much enjoy.
Yes.
And
playing to her strengths.
And she started using her armor.
Yes.
Which she did not do earlier on. And I do this. I'm hoping this is intentional, but they're showing Sabine kind of growing as a fighter. Yeah. Growing as a saber fighter. She's a great, she's a great pistol fighter, but with her saber, she's not quite used to it yet. And they're showing her kind of growing as she gets better at it. Still nowhere near as good as Ezra or Ahsoka, but she's getting there.
Right.
Which makes sense. And it plays well in the story and it works. And I'll be honest, I'd have been kind of annoyed if she'd come out episode 1, fucking doing the Anakin behind the back spin and taking out everyone in front of her. That would have been very irritating because there wouldn't have been a story there.
Right. That's not a hero's journey, my guy.
We're going to do a whole episode on that because if anyone's unfamiliar, Star Wars is basically the hero's journey has been told for thousands of years, just set in space with space wizards. So,
right.
Also, Harry Potter is Star Wars, and no one will convince me otherwise. It's a ripoff of Star Wars.
A hero's journey is very important.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the hero doesn't always win.
Yeah.
That's what makes Star Wars so awesome. Why Episode 3 is almost a perfect movie. Because
why Empire is amazing.
Yeah, because they don't win. Yeah. Episode 3, they don't win.
They lose hard.
Yeah, Empire, no, they don't win.
Yeah, Luke's lost a hand and they're running for their lives.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. That's why it's so important. And that's why the end of Ahsoka is so important because they don't win.
Yep.
That's why it's such a good episode and such a good ending.
And that's also why I love the fact that they wind up stranded on that planet because that's so jumping ahead a little bit, but it lets the two storylines diverge. Thrawn goes back to the original galaxy and he's going to do whatever he's going to do. So we're going to have his own, and this is probably going to dive deeper into more Hera stories now. Because now you're involving the Republic.
Yes.
And because Hera's been in a few episodes, but hasn't been used very much yet. this is where we're going to see more of Hera, I think.
I hope.
Yeah, I absolutely hope so, but it would make sense because now Thrawn is back, which means the Republic gets involved.
Yeah.
Up until this point, the Republic basically was like, Thrawn's not coming back. This is stupid. Why do you think this?
It does. I love that it does jump back to the original galaxy because you see Chopper almost commit another war crime by almost killing a senator.
Which, okay, I fucking love. And we skipped this last episode, and we should cover Hera's whole interaction with the defense council. Because her best line, this idiot senator is basically like, who I think we're gonna end up finding out he's working for the Imperials at some point. That wouldn't surprise me.
If he's not, I will be shocked.
If he's not,
because he's such a fuck.
He's just a colossal dick. Like,
what a fuck face.
And he basically
I hate that
he looks
guy.
at her and goes, So you're disobeying a direct order? And she goes, no, Senator, I'm just or he goes, Are you ignoring a direct order? She goes, no, Senator, I'm ignoring you. Because you're a douche.
Because you're
Fuck
a fucking
right off.
dickhead.
Like,
and she basically calls him out and is like, you were just kind of going with, whoever was gonna win.
yeah.
And he's just like,
Well,
no.
Well, the best part about this is a Chopper gets mad and oh shit, what's his name? The
Captain.
the captain has to pat Chopper and be like, no, it's okay, take a breath, like, don't kill the senator. You're fine. It's okay.
It's so fucking good.
And Chopper's just like, because
he gets so mad.
I'm gonna get him.
He gets so mad. It's so fucking funny.
I'd fucking love Chopper so much.
It's
Honestly, we're gonna
so
do a whole
fucking
episode
funny.
just about Chopper because there's enough material and he's a wonderful character. The captain.
Hang on 1 second.
My internet works fine. So
No, it's my Google just being a fucking dickhead, not giving me what I want.
damn it, Google! How
I know,
dare you do
right?
everything else?
I know.
Maybe you should Bing it. Sorry, I couldn't even say that with a straight face.
I was gonna say, I'm like, how about I fucking don't?
Couldn't even get that out with a straight face.
How about I don't do that? Captain Carson.
Thank you. Yes.
Tiva. Carson Tiva. He is just amazing. The first time we see him is in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, and he kind of lets the Mandalorian off the hook. He's like, all right,
I
cool.
love him so much.
And we see him come back and he's the one who goes to the Mandalorian covert at one point in the Mandalorian and tells them that pirates are attacking Navarro. Mm-hmm. And he's a great character. He really is. And in that moment, he basically had to, prevent Chopper from fucking using his jet booster to go punch a senator in the face. Which, Chopper would have because it's Chopper. And then Hera would have yelled at him and I'm sure he would have been like, what? What?
Yeah. And that was one of my favorite parts of that episode was just Chopper being like, you motherfucker. And Captain Carson just being like, bro,
Chill.
no,
Chill.
absolutely the fuck not. And he's just like, I'm gonna clamp him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clamp him. He's gonna get a clamp directly up his butthole.
And then of all characters, the person who shows up to save the day is fucking 3PO.
Of course it's fucking 3PO.
I love it.
And it's 3PO going, oh, yeah, no, this is actually a direct order from Senator Organa.
Who's y'all's boss. So just saying.
And it's so good because then Mon Mothma is just like, really?
So I guess we're done here. Cool. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so we're done. And then Mon Mothma goes over to Hera and she's just like,
Leia didn't say shit. What the fuck's going on?
So was it really? Did Leia really do this? And Hera's like, yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely. You heard 3PO. Yeah. And she's just like, okay, no, but really.
I mean,
no, but really.
Why wouldn't you believe 3PO? I mean, it's 3PO. Come on.
3PO doesn't lie.
Clearly.
And then Mon Mothma's like, no, but really. Did was this like a direct order? And Hera's like, okay, between you and me and off the record, no, she didn't say shit.
Yeah. But also, Leia knows. Leia fought she knows if Thrawn comes back, this is bad.
Yes.
And that's why I think season 2 is going to be kind of a split storylines.
Yes.
We're going to have Hera and the Republic fighting Thrawn. Maybe it's, split at the beginning. And Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine stuck on this planet.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get, because of the way Balin's story ended with him standing on the Mortis statue, I think we're going to get part of the Force avatars again to interacting with Ahsoka and Ezra and Sabine.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
And that also is supported a little bit by Anakin showing up at the end, his Force ghost.
I am curious about that because I mean it's very clear that Hayden is going to be playing this character for a while.
Yeah.
Dave is very adamant about Hayden being back playing Anakin / Vader.
Yeah.
He's made that very clear for quite some time.
And honestly,
he has plans.
Yeah, and it works because this is a Star Wars writing trick that you can use.
Hayden apparently has hired an agent again.
Yeah.
Like he is back in acting again because of this. Like because he stopped acting. Like full out stopped acting. He's been raising his daughter. That's what he's been doing for the past 18 to
honestly,
20 years.
First of all, I get why he would have left it first, because honestly, when episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out, or episodes 2 and 3, and poor Jake Lloyd, everyone hated him in episode 1 for some reason, even though he did a great job with the character.
He did great, yeah.
He's also like 9 years old. So
He
why was
was
everyone being so mean to a little kid?
He was a child.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. He was
Hayden
a kid.
did a brilliant job playing Anakin in 2 and 3.
He did. He played him exactly how George wanted him to.
And honestly, he played him how the character has to be, because Anakin has to be angsty and troubled, and
that was the whole point.
people were mad that it wasn't the right kind of angsty or trouble. I don't know. I don't care. But him coming back as a Force ghost is established in canon. So he can keep coming back as a Force ghost and interacting with whoever he wants. That can be part of the plot.
Yeah.
And so that works. Mm-hmm. And so seeing him at the end makes me think we're going to see more of him.
Yeah.
Let's finish the actually how we get to that moment real quick.
Yeah.
There is a lot that happens. And God, we are so ADD sometimes.
Look, today is bad.
Dude, a butterfly.
Today is real bad. I'm so sorry.
We're going to rewind a touch. Doing the deep cut into the Death Troopers was a great idea. That was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
The fact that, this goes back to Thrawn's character more than anything else. Thrawn does not look at his stormtroopers or the people around him as people or expendable. They are pieces on a chessboard. Mm-hmm. So when he tells Morgan Elsbeth to stay behind, he's basically just said, "I'm sacrificing this piece."
Yes.
Even if she wins, she's staying here. So I am sacrificing this piece.
I kind of loved that part because she's like following him to like go with him, and he's just like, "Yeah, no, you're gonna take care of this," and she's just like, "What?
I'm a who? What now?
I'm gonna what?" And he's like, "Yeah, you're gonna handle this," and she's just like, "Oh, but I thought he's like, you're gonna handle this." Okay, yeah, no, I'll okay.
Totally agree.
And
what I had in mind.
Yeah. And I sat there, I watched that, and I just went, oh, bro could not have given a fuck.
Not in the slightest. Like,
he literally just went, no, I don't care.
Yeah. No, you're
thanks for doing what you did, but we're done here.
But this is
we're
also,
pretty much done.
This is also just Thrawn's personality.
Yeah.
He's not being cruel. As far as he's concerned, he's not being cruel.
No,
not
at all.
This is where he needs her to be in that moment. That's it.
Yes.
Like, this is simply how this is his next move.
Yes.
I did love. So they make it upstairs to the top of the tower. They finally escape the troopers, which is a great sequence.
Yeah.
And they make it upstairs to the top of the tower. And the Star Destroyer is pulling away, and of course, like, well, fuck, now we can't get to it. And then they're like, well, what if, you jump or I jump and you use the Force to throw me? And of course, it's Ezra. It's Ezra saying this to Sabine. She's like,
I just figured out how to pick up my lightsaber.
bro,
with
I
it.
have barely been able to make a teacup wiggle. Like what? Have you looked off the tower? Because if I fuck this up, it's gonna take you a while to get to the bottom, and you're gonna be mad the whole time.
Yeah. But she did manage to pick up her lightsaber.
She did.
She did manage to actually get her lightsaber. So she figured it out.
Yeah.
And then she finally goes, you know what? Yes, I can. I can do it. I can do it.
I think part of her problem, honestly, was a lack of confidence at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of her problem. Mm-hmm. But she manages to. So Ezra runs. Sabine uses the Force, and I did like this. They like showed him go, yeah, oh no.
He's like, ah!
Which is great. But he gets up there, and now he's on the Star Destroyer. And their plan was that then Sabine would run, and he would use the Force to pull her up.
Yes.
But then Ahsoka comes up.
Yep.
And she's surrounded by the Death Troopers who she's killing, but they keep getting back up, which super annoying.
Kind of a problem.
Yeah. And then Morgan comes out with her Dathomir sword. And Sabine has a choice to make. If she goes with Ezra, then she's safe. Like, they can hide on the Star Destroyer. Yep. They've done it before. We saw them do it. We've seen them hide on Star Destroyers and Rebels. I did love that Ezra picked up a helmet and like talked into it. It's just
such an Ezra move.
Wonderful little. And also he like looked at the helmet and went, no, and like dropped it.
Yeah.
All through Rebels, he was collecting Stormtrooper helmets. And so it was a wonderful little nod back. I loved that so much.
And it was such an Ezra move to like mimic.
Yeah.
Impersonate somebody. It was such an Ezra move.
It was great, and it really does show one that the actor really did study for the role, and so did the writers.
Oh yeah.
Because they got his mannerisms and his personality down perfectly.
They cast a Star Wars fan, and they made sure to hire Star Wars fans.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, if anyone from that team is listening, I am also a writer and a big old Star Wars fan. So just saying.
I'm not a writer, but I am a Star Wars fan. So if you just need help with anything,
I'll second that one. Lil's actually delightful to have around.
Yeah, I'm just really fun.
In like moderate doses, you need to.
No, I'm a small doses person.
Yeah.
But like, if you just need somebody to like throw ideas off of, like I'm.
I mean, don't if you have a fragile ego, it's a bad idea. Because I have told you ideas that I've had for things, and you have very honestly, and I appreciate this, but like that's fucking idiotic. like I knew you were stupid, but what the fuck?
Yeah, no. If you're sensitive, maybe don't. But I'm real good to bounce ideas off of. So
it's true.
You can just pay me lots of money.
You just really need to appreciate incredibly honest feedback.
Yeah. But you can pay me a lot of money to just be honest with you about stuff.
And that's our employment pitch. Hire us. But
hire me. Please, I hate my job.
Yeah, me too. I did love that Sabine chose to stay. Because there was that whole sequence about the basically it was Hu Yang explaining why the master and apprentice relationship is so important. And I think at that point Ahsoka Sabine hadn't really realized that.
Yeah.
And I think in that moment, if she'd gone with Ezra, Ahsoka wouldn't have cared. It wouldn't I don't think Ahsoka would have seen that as a failing or a bad choice. Mm-hmm. Ahsoka would have been like, cool, that was an available good option that you chose. All right, cool. But I think Sabine took Hu Yang's talk about the master-apprentice relationship to heart and chose to stay with her master.
Yeah, I agree.
And so poor Ahsoka is trying to fight Morgan and all these troopers. And then here comes Sabine like a fucking tiny little battering ram. And I was like, God, there's the Mandalorian. Yeah. Okay. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And now she's fighting Blade Pistol.
Yeah.
I'm like, there it is. Yes.
Tiny little battering ram is the best description of Sabine that you could ever have. Like,
yeah.
because she is a tiny little battering ram.
Yeah.
like she's all of like 5'3", and she's 100 pounds soaking wet.
But she will, but she will fuck you up.
Yeah,
you'll have to look down to see her, but she'll fuck you up. like
I will bite your ankles.
And that was actually one of the things in Mandalorian that always kind of bugged me. When we see Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan fighting with the Darksaber, she's a really good fighter.
Yeah.
But she always fights with the saber alone, never the saber and a pistol.
Yeah.
And she's primarily a pistol fighter. It would have made a lot of sense to see her using saber and pistol, because why not?
I think that with Bo-Katan, though, I think in her mind it was one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't think she thought to use both.
Yeah, and Sabine very much did.
Yeah.
Also, Bo had the offhand shield.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But which actually is based on an ancient form of shield called a buckler. Mm-hmm. That was a tiny little shield worn on the arm, so it was easier to move and block with. So that is basically an energy buckler, which is very cool. Historical throwbacks are fun because I'm a giant nerd. But we, of course, Sabine comes running back. Ezra is now stuck on the Star Destroyer. He's going back with Thrawn no matter what at this point. He can't get back down to the tower.
Right.
He's stuck.
Yeah.
Now, in Rebels, we've seen Ezra hide on Star Destroyers before, so he's probably like, I got this shit. We're fine.
Yeah,
like,
it's all good.
We're good. And of course, the first thing he does is put on Stormtrooper armor, because, of course, Ahsoka and Morgan's fight was phenomenal.
So good.
So goddamn good. And it was so good because Ahsoka wasn't really winning at first.
Yeah.
Like, she was kind of getting her ass handed to her.
Yeah.
She lost a saber.
Yeah.
Which I would imagine those don't grow on trees. So,
not usually, no.
Also, she can't pull an Anakin and just have another Jedi bring her a new saber.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Because every time Anakin came back to the temple, I'm sure someone went up and went, Master Skywalker, do you need a new saber? He'd be like, not this time. Fuck off. I don't do it that often. Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you do, because we have 20 for you.
Because you keep losing them. Even though he would always tell Ahsoka, this weapon is your life. And she's like, yeah, but you keep losing
But is it though?
And he's just
is it though?
He's like, shut up.
Fuck up.
Shut up. Do as I say, not as I do.
And we've talked about this before. I really do want to see a little comedic episode of Anakin having to go to Ilum with the younglings, and just sit in the back of the transport, arms crossed, just kind of pouting. So like, Master Skywalker, what are you doing here? Shut up, leave me alone. Fuck off. I'm not here. Go away. Just mad
me.
about it. He's trying to find his new crystal. You hear a crystal deep in the cave go, fuck, not again!
This motherfucker again!
Anakin
Stop!
Master Yoda, why is Master Skywalker here with us? Lose his lightsabers? He does. Because that's where you have to get the damn crystals.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Shit, I'm sure Anakin knew his way around those caves like a fucking genius by the time. Because shit, how many lightsabers did he go through? I can count at least 4.
Yeah.
At least 4.
I mean, the fact that in episode 2, he literally went, not again. Yeah. Obi-Wan's going to kill me. Bruh, what do you mean, not again?
Well, I also love that when the Jedi showed up, someone just tossed him a lightsaber as though they assumed that he'd broken his.
Right.
You're like, we're just going to bring you an extra. He was like, how did you know?
Dude, we just know.
We know. And so I'm assuming Ahsoka can't just run to the Star Wars version of Walmart and get herself a new saber.
Right, exactly.
Also, the Empire kind of strip mined Ilum to shit and back. So
yeah, no, there's no crystals anymore.
Yeah,
any crystals now have to be
synthetic. Yeah, which isn't always a bad thing. I mean, Ahsoka at one point got crystals from Inquisitors that she took out.
Yes, and then she took the energy out. That's why hers are white.
Yep. But so that's doable, but still,
Yeah.
But how that fight ended, Morgan had the advantage when Ahsoka was having to fend off blaster bolts and fight Morgan. And then Sabine, a tiny little rhinoceros, comes running in and just starts fucking shit up. Which I love that her battle strategy was, I'm going to engage as many of you as I possibly can at the same time in a way that is very confusing. Because which one of you? What am I going to do? Am I going to stab the guy on my left or am I going to shoot the guy on my right? Right. I'm going to do both, actually, and then we're going to move on.
Porque no los dos.
Yeah. And brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
And she starts using her armor as part of the fight.
Yeah.
Like you see her lean into blaster shots.
Yep.
And I have talked to experts in medieval armor about this because I'm a giant nerd.
What?
Yeah. That's what this is basically a Star Wars version of a medieval knight's armor.
Right.
Knights were taught to lean into hits.
Yep.
You step forward, you brace yourself, you take the hit, and then you keep fighting.
Yeah.
Because that's what armor was designed to do. It was designed to let you take punishment that would otherwise kill you. So you used your armor like that. We see it in The Mandalorian a lot. There's a scene at the beginning of season 2 where he's fucking fist fighting two dudes.
Yep.
He turns to one of them and leans in as the guy punches him in the helmet and just hurts his hand because he punched him in the helmet. Like, don't punch people in metal helmets. Shouldn't have to explain that.
Right.
But Sabine starts using her armor like that. Again, the growth of Sabine as a character and a fighter, she's finding a way to merge the Mandalorian and the Jedi parts of who she is. And I very much enjoy that because you're starting to build a fuller character.
Right.
When that fight ends, I mean, Thrawn clearly is watching this fight take place and finally is like, well, shit. Ahsoka has just killed Morgan by taking away Morgan's fancy sword and just, I mean, one move. Good night. Good God. I did love that the actress playing Morgan had the presence of mind to look very surprised in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, look genuinely surprised.
Yeah. She's like, the fuck?
Like, that's not supposed to be how... Oh.
Yeah.
And finally, they're like, well, we have to get off this damn tower because Thrawn's Star Destroyer is now gone. We have to get off this damn tower because these fucking Death Troopers are still here, and we keep killing them, which is super annoying.
Yeah.
Off the tower they go. Hu Yang to the rescue.
Of course.
Yeah. He fixed the ship. Yeah. And then Thrawn does what Thrawn does. It's the next chess move. I don't need that tower anymore.
Bye.
But my enemies are on it. Cool. I'll blow it up. It's fine. It's Thrawn's next chess move.
Yep.
And again, this I don't think was designed. This was not designed to kill them.
No, it was designed to slow them down.
This is another delaying tactic. Yeah. And in the end, it works.
Yep.
They chase him out into space. Thrawn basically calls Ahsoka and says, hey, look, you fought well.
Just like your master.
Yep. And I did like the verbal dig of the knife. Yeah. But he does, and this is actually one thing I've always liked about Thrawn. A lot of the Imperial characters, and I think they were supposed to be this way, are very arrogant. The rebels are nothing. Well, we're always going to win. Thrawn repeatedly says versions of, you have to respect your enemy.
Yep.
And that's one thing I very much enjoyed about Thrawn is that he does not look at any adversary of his. He does not look at and go, you are beneath my contempt. I'm simply going to beat you.
Yeah.
He looks at them and says, if I'm fighting you, if they've brought me in to do this, then this is an enemy that needs to be respected, that I very well could lose to if I get overconfident. And then Thrawn and the big old ring ship, off they go. And now Ezra is headed back to his original galaxy. And Ahsoka and Sabine are stuck in the other galaxy. Which I'm sure Ezra's sitting on the Star Destroyer going, well, this is half right, I guess.
Yeah.
I wanted to go home. I was hoping they would, come along. That would have been cool.
I do want to say what he says to Ahsoka. Allow me to commend you on your efforts today. You've been quite a worthy opponent. I regret we haven't met face to
I regret.
I regret we haven't met face to face, and perhaps now we never shall. Still, I know you because I knew your master. I concluded your strategies would be similar. One wonders just how similar you might become.
There's the verbal dig of the night.
Which is such a dig considering he knew that Anakin was Vader.
And that's,
Perhaps this is where a Ronin such as you belongs. Today victory is mine. Long live the Empire.
Yeah.
The fact that he calls her a Ronin is a very big thing.
Yeah.
Because she left the Jedi Order. Mm-hmm. She essentially does become like a Jedi Ronin in a sense.
There's also a little callback to George Lucas's kind of blending of the Western hero myth and Eastern hero myth, because they are two very different things. You need to kind of blend them to create the original Star Wars. Mm-hmm. I did like that as a little callback. That's mainly for people who are, ridiculously massive nerds like me. But
right.
And we've called Ahsoka the Jedi Ronin on this show before.
Yeah.
Because that's what she is.
Essentially, yeah.
Sabine has her Jedi Ronin moment. When she has that shot-for-shot remake of Kanan cutting when she cuts her hair short. Mm-hmm. This is basically her rededication to her mission.
Yeah.
The verbal dig about wondering how much like her master Ahsoka might become.
Yes.
I know, Sabine wouldn't have gotten that.
No. Because the thing that is very interesting, so very few people knew who Vader actually was.
Tarkin, Palpatine, Thrawn.
Yeah. So
Thrawn.
Tarkin, Palpatine, Thrawn, Obi-Wan.
Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Ahsoka finds out.
Eventually Luke, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Ahsoka finds out.
And Leia, but yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually people find out after he's dead that Leia was the daughter.
Yeah.
But people didn't know.
Yeah.
Because they kept it a secret. And when Ahsoka found out, and after she gets pulled, with the World Between Worlds, she never told anyone.
No, I don't think she could.
And even still, she didn't really want to admit.
Well, there's also everyone that she knew. She told about her master, Anakin Skywalker, who was a great warrior and one of the best of the Jedi. And and how do you take someone that you've put up on a pedestal like that and then say this person has now become the most horrific monster the universe has ever known?
Well, and even in The Mandalorian, when we meet Ahsoka and she says, I can't train him. He's too attached to you.
Yeah,
I've seen what it can happen even to the best of us. She's referring to Anakin.
Yeah.
But she's never going to say out loud what happened to Anakin. She
can't.
She never tells anyone.
But Thrawn knows, and that's why the verbal dig
and that's
is
why,
so...
And that's why, it's such a big thing that Thrawn says to Ahsoka, one wonders, how similar you would become. And she's just like, you motherfucker.
Well, the other part of this is that everything Thrawn said was completely sincere.
Yeah. He has a lot of respect for Ahsoka and had a lot of respect for Anakin.
When he says that she was a worthy adversary, that's not sarcasm on his part. He genuinely means it.
Yeah.
And when he says, I won today, again, that's not him going, you're now nothing, I've won.
Yeah.
This is him genuinely respecting her as an adversary. Mm-hmm. And that is honestly one of the things that makes Thrawn such a terrifying villain, but also such a great character. Thrawn really does respect his enemies. Yep. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
And in that moment, I think, and this is where I think season 2 is going to go, because we saw Anakin as his Force Ghost at the end of season 1. Mm-hmm. I think Ahsoka's going to have him I don't think we'll ever see him where Ahsoka goes down Vader's path. That was very specific to Anakin because of a lot of manipulation from Palpatine and the events around him. And those things I think had to happen very specifically to make that
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see. I think what we're going to see is Ahsoka doesn't refer to herself as a Jedi. She says repeatedly that she left the Jedi Order.
Yeah, she never says that she is a Jedi.
Yeah. I think we're going to see Anakin or Anakin and Ahsoka's interactions up in season 2, I hope, start to bring Ahsoka back to being a Jedi again.
I hope so.
I think that's where it's going to go.
I hope so.
And
I think that would be very cool.
I think I think the second season of Ahsoka, because now we're just getting into speculation. I think the second season of Ahsoka is going to be the first half is going to be split storylines between what's happening to Ahsoka and Sabine,
Mm-hmm.
and what's happening with Thrawn and Hera and the Republic.
Mm-hmm.
We should also mention that that Ezra does make it back to the Republic.
And Chopper knows who he is.
Chopper's the first one to recognize him
because they're all standing there because he comes out in
stormtrooper
in
armor.
the stormtrooper armor, and so everyone's standing there like, "Fuck."
And so out come all the blasters, they haven't shot him yet, but God bless Chopper.
And Chopper's just like, "Hang on a second, I know this motherfucker."
Yeah, it's like,
Hang on.
you, dude.
I know this guy. This is my friend.
I really wait. So he takes off his helmet and he goes, "Hi, Hera," and I really expect him to be like, "Hey, Mom."
I know. I was kind of hoping he would be like, "Hey, Mom."
I really expect. Yeah, that moment I did love. Okay, first of all, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a wonderful actress.
Oh, she's amazing.
And that pure shock on her face of, okay, if you'd given me a million guesses as to what was going to happen today,
that was not one of
I
them.
still wouldn't have gotten this.
Yep.
As far as a season finale goes, it was epic. It was amazing.
It was incredible.
It was amazing.
It was so good.
Yeah. As far as teeing up season 2, oh my!
I am very curious to see where this goes.
I think and as I've said before, I think we're gonna get the split storyline. We're gonna get Ahsoka and Sabine basically trying to find a way home, but also training on this planet.
Yeah.
Because what else are they going to do? I think Shin Hati is going to be part of that, obviously, because she's still there with her mercenaries. Mm-hmm. There's also the unresolved issue of Balin and the giant Mortis statue, which that has to be part of it.
And if you notice though, the daughter is broken.
Yeah,
she's gone. So I'm wondering if that's going to lead to Abeloth.
Maybe.
But that's down the line.
You should probably explain that.
Okay, hang on. Let me pull out my Google because I feel like I need to have like a proper.
So you and I can nerd out with references without having to explain them to each other, but please remember the microphone in front of you and the people listening.
I know. Hang on, because I don't want to say Abeloth and then like try to go on a whole thing.
Yeah,
and then.
And it's rude of me to steal your point. So, which generally I wouldn't give a shit, but there's people listening. So
okay, so Abeloth, self-styled as the beloved Queen of the Stars and also known as the Bringer of Chaos, was an extremely powerful Force entity. Her dark side powers and immortality derived from her being corrupted by drinking from the font of power. And bathing in the pool of knowledge. She first lived as the servant, a mortal woman who served the powerful ones on a jungle planet over 100,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. Throughout her life, she became the Mother, which honestly, that is very reminiscent of Lilith for me.
it is, and not Lil,
Not me, Lilith,
like
but like the actual demon Lilith.
Yeah, which appropriate name for you.
Same. She kept the peace between the father's warring son and daughter and became a loving member of the family. Unfortunately, she was still mortal. She grew old while the father and their children lived on, and she feared she would lose her precious family. In a desperate attempt to hold on to the life she so loved, she drank from the font of power and bathed in the pool of knowledge. Her actions corrupted her, transforming the mother into the twisted, immortal entity known as Abeloth.
Yeah.
So.
And there is I will admit there is because we do have 2 female characters on this planet now. One of them could go that route.
Yeah.
If it was going to be either of them, I would think it would be Sabine, because we find out early in Ahsoka that she lost her entire family when the Empire destroyed.
You really think that Sabine would be the one to fall?
I think Sabine would be the one to be tempted by the opportunity to set things right that she thinks she might have done wrong. I think Sabine. I think, given the right circumstances, Sabine would be the kind of person who you could say, "Hey, you could bring your family back. You could see your brother again.
Interesting.
You could see your father again."
I would lean more towards Shin Hati, honestly.
I would too, but we haven't found out much, that much about Shin Hati's character yet. She hasn't really done much for us to be able to say.
The only reason I would say
is because she's been a bad guy
because
so far.
She's already kind of on the dark side anyway.
Yeah, and so yeah, totally possible. But I think of Ahsoka and Sabine, the idea of Sabine wanting to set right things that she feels like she's done wrong, I think would be a really interesting storyline, but also wouldn't be terribly out of character for Sabine. Because if she didn't realize what she was doing would lead to the dark side, then why not do it? As far as Shin Hati goes, they're just not. We haven't gone deep enough into her character to really know anything about her.
I mean, anything is possible, I guess, at this point.
And season 2 is happening.
Yeah, I just think it would be very cool to eventually see an Abeloth storyline begin.
Yeah.
And anyone who is, familiar with the extended universe, Luke defeats Abeloth.
Yeah.
In a fucking ridiculously epic battle in space.
Yeah. Because, why not?
Because why the fuck not? Because he is omnipotent and he eventually fucking warps a black hole.
Yeah.
Because he can.
Yeah.
And manipulates a fucking moon.
That's a Tuesday for him. Like, it's fine.
Dude is fucking insane. I don't know. Dude is fucking crazy.
Well, yeah, he basically comes like,
he is God.
Yeah, he's like Force Jesus. Like, it's the
thing about Luke is he was able to become the all-powerful Jedi that his father never could be.
Yeah.
Because no one was there to hold him back.
Well, this is also, and in case anyone's about to yell at us in the comments, Anakin was the chosen one. That is not up for debate. We are not saying otherwise. And
no, it's just that he was not allowed to become that because he was held back because no one knew how to handle him.
Yeah. There's also the fact that the chosen one was supposed to bring balance to the Force. At this point, it was all light because of the Jedi. Balance does not mean good.
Yes.
Balance means balance.
Correct.
Like, yeah. And we've ranted about that before. I would very much enjoy the Abeloth storyline.
I just think that would be really cool. And I'm not saying that that's going to necessarily be the whole thing in season 2.
But it would be
I just think
cool.
it would be cool, like, at the end of season 2 to kind of see a beginning of that.
Yeah.
Just because I'm interested to understand why the daughter of the Mortis statues is just gone.
Yeah.
Like, why is she gone?
Yeah.
Is it because in the Mortis arc she dies?
Because she does.
Because she dies, she gives her life force to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Because Ahsoka dies in that episode, that arc.
And I think that's going to play into part of it because she did give her life force to Ahsoka.
Yeah.
I think that's going to play into it. I think that's going to mean that whatever happens on that planet, it's going to mean that Ahsoka has to be the one to solve it.
Yeah.
And on the other side of that coin, this is also going to bring the rest of the Imperial remnant that we've seen in The Mandalorian under Thrawn's control. Because Thrawn's now back. And so not Moff Gideon, he's dead.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, if we've learned anything, no one dies in Star Wars, apparently.
They dropped a light cruiser on him. Like, I don't mean that figuratively. They literally dropped a light cruiser on him. I mean, there's overkill, and then there's whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
which, by the way, that ending of Mandalorian is fucking genius.
Oh, it was so
It's
good.
so good. But so Moff Gideon is likely dead.
Yes.
There's still the Imperial spy on Coruscant that we see in the Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch more of the Imperial remnant left. That's why I think the other half of the storyline is going to be Hera leading the fight against Thrawn, Thrawn coming back.
Mm-hmm.
The difference here is that Hera's going to, and I think this is going to be really interesting to see what they do with this. Before, Hera was a rebel. You fight as you're a guerrilla fighter.
Yeah.
Now Hera is representing the legitimate government of the galaxy.
Yeah.
And fighting against what are essentially rebels.
Yeah.
And that could be a really interesting thing for them to play with. Obviously, the big advantage is, they have the money, the ships, the ability to create more ships, more supplies, more troops. But to see how they play with that. Because, what if Thrawn takes over a planet? Or what if Thrawn gets invited to a planet that is accepting the Imperials? Is the Republic going to land troops like the Empire used to? Like,
Yeah.
It could be something really fun to play with.
I'm excited about it.
I am too.
Just because I have read the original Thrawn trilogy with
Yeah.
Heir to the Empire and
there's a
Dark Force
lot
Rising
they
and
can
all of
still
that.
do with it.
and
And
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see how they're going to play with it, how they're going to incorporate, what they've already done with the Mandalorian, how they're going to incorporate Luke
yep.
and Leia
And I'm
everything.
kind of hoping.
Because Leia's full on pregnant with the
twins at this
with the
point.
twins right
Yeah.
now.
And
So-
so what I'm really hoping for, and I've heard people argue about this, and I think anyone who disagrees with me on this is just wrong. We've because I'm so tolerant of all of your opinions. We've reached a point now where it's okay. It is okay to recast the original characters. Having new actors play Luke
Absolutely.
and Leia,
Yeah.
totally fine. Yeah. Because one, for the very obvious reason, Carrie Fisher has passed away. R.I.P. Space Mom.
Yes. We love you, Space Mom.
And Mark Hamill is getting older. Like,
He's
he's
up there.
And just using the de-aging technology on him doesn't really work all the time. So
Right.
recasting is fine.
Absolutely.
And so if they were to bring back Luke and Leia, even Han and Lando and other characters recast, I'd be completely cool with that.
Sure.
And that opens a lot of doors for new characters, like we mentioned earlier, Mara Jade, who appears in the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes. That's where we where we first see her.
Oh God, brain fart. What's his name? Smuggler dude, Talon Card.
Yes.
Who is
he's great.
brilliant character.
Love him.
There's so much that opens up
That's
here.
who Mara works for.
Yeah. There's so many doors that open here, and so many cool characters. But I've heard a lot of people get really mad about, well, you can't recast Luke Skywalker. I'm like, you absolutely can. Mark Hamill's in his fucking 70s. Like,
yeah, and he is 100% fine. And like
he said in interviews, eventually someone else is going to play Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
because eventually I'm not going to be able to do it anymore. Like,
right. And I mean, like, they've gotten enough footage of him, to de-age him and all of that. They've gotten enough of his motion.
And they don't even need it. Just even recasting with someone new.
Yeah, and I mean, the guy
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Doesn't look dead on. It looks pretty close. Is a good actor.
Yeah.
Would be the approximately appropriate age to where Luke is in canon at that point.
Yeah.
That would be great casting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would be fine.
Yeah.
It would be fine at this point.
I mean, hell, you want to get really weird with it? You get like someone like, she wants to play every other race. Get like someone like Scarlett Johansson to play Lando. I don't know. Did you not see Ghost in the Machine or like
Ghost in the Shell?
Thank you. Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah.
Which let's recast with a white woman. Good job.
Yikes.
But no, all these characters can be recast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the guy that they have as the stand-in for Luke in The Mandalorian is great. He pretty much looks like Mark anyway.
if anyone's confused,
Mark himself said he looks more like me than me anyway.
well, also, it doesn't matter which option they go with. There's gonna be some like collection of fans that are pissed about it.
Dude.
And as we mentioned nearly every episode, there's a subset of Star Wars fans that are just toxic as fuck. And I'll be honest, guys, yeah, you can't just take a character. As I said, Carrie Fisher's passed away. That doesn't mean that Leia is just done in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Leia as a character has a lot more potential and a lot more stuff to do.
Yeah.
And just because Carrie Fisher's passed away doesn't mean that Leia is hung up forever.
Right.
We can recast and still do these stories.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if they, you don't have to go as deep into the Thrawn trilogy as like every bit of like, plot and subplot and all that crap.
Of course.
But there's a bunch of characters introduced. There's a bunch of like, plots you could go with. And yes, recast the original characters. Absolutely. Shit, Harrison Ford would be all about it. He's been trying to get him to kill Han Solo since the end of Empire. Like,
right.
And
yeah.
And honestly, he's not entirely wrong. Like it's a plot point that could have worked. And then he got wasted by Hot Topic Vader. Because he did.
Right. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you're not going to please everybody.
Yeah.
Like it's like you said, there is a subset of fans that are just all around toxic.
Yeah.
And they're mad about everything,
And
especially if there is somebody with a vagina involved.
And they're going to be the ones in our comments being like, you can't recast anybody Star Wars. Guess what? It's not up to me. It's not up to Lil. It's not up to any of you.
Yeah.
Any of you pounding away furiously in our comments. It's not up to us.
I
mean, we love you and thank you for listening.
Yeah. So not related to like the shows or the movies. I was reading something. I can't even remember like what it was, but it was something about the games. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was Jedi like Survivor or if it was the one prior.
There are characters from that could come back.
But it was somebody asked, "What is your?" I can't even remember like what the question was, but something about like a powerful character, or what is your what's the best combination for powers or something like that. And somebody made the comment of anything that isn't a woman.
Jesus Christ.
And of course it was some man. It was a man, because of course, and people went underneath him and just wrecked him.
Good.
And they went, what the fuck are you talking about?
Spoken like someone who really wishes a woman would touch his special place.
Yeah, exactly. Like if that's not an incel, like I don't know what the fuck is. And like I sat there and I read that and I was like, fucking what? What does that have to do with anything?
I'll be honest. I know a lot of women who are just, gross people, just awful people.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with them being women. They're just shitty people.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the fact that like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What the fuck are you talking about?
Nothing.
And people went after him. They were like, what are you talking about? And somebody literally was like, actually, the best character I've ever created in this game is a woman.
One of my favorite characters in all of the Star Wars universe is originally from is in the Jedi Survivor game, introduced in the one before it. His name I can't remember. And it's Marin. She's a Night Sister.
Oh yeah.
She's a wonderful character.
Yeah.
She's an amazing character.
Sure.
And honestly, and this actually brings me to another point. You want to keep this universe together and incorporate everything. We have another Jedi in this universe that hasn't been touched yet. Cal Kestis is animated in the games, but he's played by Cameron Monaghan.
Yeah, who's a great fucking actor.
And guess what? They made Cal Kestis look like Cameron, so he could play him on screen.
Yeah.
Without any problem.
Yeah.
There are, and Marin with that same actress, they did the same thing.
Yeah.
She could come back and play Marin.
Yeah.
Which having the Night Mothers on one side and the Night Sister helping the Republic on the other could be very cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you're not, but again, you're not going to make everybody happy.
No.
That's
no
just a
matter what they
fact.
choose,
Yeah.
someone's going to be, furiously pounding away on their keyboard.
And-
This is not how Star Wars is supposed to be.
And it's always, sure as shit, it's always going to be, somebody is going to be mad because a lady is strong.
Yeah. I did hear one of my, this is probably the funniest thing I ever heard out loud in my entire life. This was years ago when the first Wonder Woman movie came out.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I was super excited about it. One, Gal Gadot's a great actress.
Yeah, Gal Gadot's great.
And the rest of the cast looked really good. Chris Pine is a wonderful actor.
Oh, Chris Pine's great. Loved him in the D&D movie. He was fucking
he was
hilarious.
so funny. He was
God,
so funny.
he was so goddamn funny in that.
Even though I dislike the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, I did like Chris
Pine was very good as Kirk.
Yeah.
He nailed it as Kirk.
Honestly, he did because he didn't try to play Shatner. That's why.
That was it. Yeah.
Because no one who is ever because they've recast Kirk for Strange New Worlds as well, and that guy's also not trying to play Shatner correctly. Only Shatner can be Shatner.
Yeah. Only Shatner can play Shatner badly.
Exactly. Yeah. But
only Shatner can act badly.
But everyone else recast as Kirk is not trying to be Shatner.
That's the point. You're not supposed to.
And that's why they're good.
Yeah.
But I was at a bar with some friends, and some guy who I don't know, he's a couple tables behind us, very loud and talking and drunk. He goes, "I can't believe the lead in the Wonder Woman movie is a woman." I'm like, the word "woman" is in the title. Like, it's Wonder Woman. Like, what the fuck? Huh? Da! It hurt my brain. Lil is currently
I need to leave. Goodbye.
Okay.
What the fuck? What do you mean?
I love that you went through the effort of actually putting the headphones on and getting up and walking towards the door, despite the fact that this is an audio medium. So
no, I needed it to be dramatic. I needed it to be dramatic.
It was baffling. The name.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Woman is in the title.
What do you mean? I can't believe that the lead in Wonder
Woman
is a woman. What do you mean by that statement?
I think I broke Lil.
I need that person to be hit by a car.
I'm kind of hoping they have been, honestly. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard out loud. But I've heard equally stupid things from Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
You mentioned one that you came across about how someone said there are no strong female characters in Star Wars.
Jesus Christ.
Or no, I'm sorry. That Rey was the first strong female character in Star Wars.
And that one was said by the person in charge.
Kathleen, I don't know you personally.
And she literally said, "Oh, Rey is the first female Jedi."
Listen, I don't know Kathleen personally. Maybe in person over dinner, she's a delightful conversationalist or something like that. But I don't know her personally. Not going to say otherwise. I don't know her personally. Her doing the job she's doing, not for her. She needs to leave it.
So, yeah, she actually said that Rey was the first female Jedi or something along those lines. And I just kind of went, you know that there are several women on the Jedi Council, right?
You know that the Jedi are supposed to have been around for thousands of years, and
Literally.
they weren't all dudes.
Are you just saying that Rey was the first main character female Jedi?
Which is also
because
wrong.
That's also not true.
That's just also very wrong.
That's also not correct because Clone Wars had Ahsoka Tano.
We got a female Jedi in. The first time I think was it episode 1 or episode 2 of Star Wars? It was the first time we saw a female Jedi.
Episode 1.
Episode 1? Yeah. Those two movies blend together for me. So
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
But on the Jedi fucking council, there are several women.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You
we even got
fucking
alien
lunatic.
women. We got Yaddle.
Yeah, Yaddle. What are you talking about? You fucking
Ahsoka
lunatic.
was a Jedi Padawan.
Yeah.
Which still counts. Ahsoka had a big old fight with her best friend. Thank you, Barris. I know it's a Sith, but Asajj Ventress counts.
Yeah, she
Like-
uses the Force.
Like, there are thousands. Like,
Shakti.
great character, brilliant character, a woman.
What are you talking about, you fucking lunatic?
Yeah.
Rey was not the first female Jedi.
This also goes back to 7, 8, and 9, and we've said this repeatedly. 7, 8, and 9 are basically made by people who didn't know or like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, the person who runs Lucasfilm doesn't know a goddamn thing about Star Wars. But
And which is why it's great that Dave Filoni is now been promoted to creative head. So
Yes,
which is great.
exactly.
Dave,
we've already
high hopes, so.
We literally went on a rant about this on the last episode,
Yeah.
so we're not going to do this again. So we should probably stop
we
here.
probably should.
So
that's,
anyway,
that's the end of Ahsoka.
that is the end of Ahsoka. It was a brilliant show. I personally give it a 10 out of 10.
I give it 10 out of 10 easy. My only, and I had exactly one gripe with the show, and it is a nitpicky thing.
Yeah?
And that's it. And okay, so I was about to say screenwriter, aspiring screenwriter. I have an actual day job while I try to do this. But I did take a lot of related classes in college because they're fun. My only nitpicky problem with this was introducing storylines in season 1 that the audience is going to kind of forget about going into season 2, given the large gap between seasons now. Back in the day, there used to be 22 episodes, several weeks off, and then the new season would start.
Sure.
But now a season ends in 2023. We're not going to get the new until 2025.
Sure.
So there are a lot of little details and little things in the show that could lead to other big plot lines that people are going to forget about by the time the new show comes out. And that isn't the fault of the writers or the people making it. It's just production schedules, which, again, this will always confuse me.
Yeah.
They used to be able to make, 1,000 episodes of Law and Order every year and then be off for 8 weeks and then make 1,000 more the next year.
Right.
And yet somehow it takes 2 years in between 10 episode seasons of Star Wars. What the fuck?
And it's like 6 to 8 episodes.
Yeah, what the fuck? They used to
Yeah.
do 22 to 23 episodes a year every single year, and you dickbags can't even manage to get less than 10 episodes out
Yeah.
in less than 18 months.
Yeah.
Not saying I don't love you for it. They're amazing shows.
But also,
make them faster. We know it can be done. They
Yeah.
did it with less they made more with less.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And
That's
I say
fair.
this. Yeah. Also,
That's fair.
I'm just not a patient person.
Yeah,
that's my
also
only.
fair.
That's my only gripe and nitpick. Is it's gonna take forever to get back to this, which means when the new show comes out, I'm gonna have to take 3 weeks to rewatch all of Ahsoka to remember what the fuck happened.
3 weeks.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it 3 times. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say, like, it's not. It's gonna take me a day.
No, I'm gonna watch it 3 times. I'm watching it on a Monday. I'm gonna watch it, the next, give it a week and watch it the next Wednesday. If the show comes out in the 3rd week on Thursday, I'm gonna watch it again the preceding Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then into Thursday.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm fully caught up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a big old nerd, and I gotta make sure I have all my details down.
Sure. I was concerned for a moment.
If it took me 3 weeks to watch 10 episodes, it would be because I'm watching them 18 seconds at a time. It would be ridiculous. But we're going to, when season 2 gets closer, we'll do an Ahsoka season 1 recap
Yes.
for everybody.
Yeah.
And hopefully help you, pick, notice all the little plot details and
Yeah.
everything. Because we're gonna do our own, obviously, because we have to.
Yeah.
So figure we might as well do it in front of the microphones. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do next as far as the Star Wars universe.
I'm thinking it's gonna be either Mandalorian or Rebels. Rebels
Okay.
might be a good prequel to Ahsoka.
Sure.
And
okay.
We're gonna need some time to really get into Clone Wars because there's a lot.
There's a lot of Clone Wars. One thing I would really like to do eventually, we don't have to do it anytime soon, is kind of do some background on a couple of characters.
Yeah, and honestly, that could be helpful for anyone who's not. I mean, people listening to this, I assume, are big Star Wars fans.
Sure, but there may be some people who are a little bit more casual about it, and I think that it would be beneficial to kind of get into history of some of the characters, such as Ahsoka, Sabine, Ezra.
I mean, Ezra's will be a half-hour episode because
We don't have a ton.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really good to get a really good background on Thrawn.
Yeah.
Because
'Cause
there's
a lot
of history on Thrawn.
And Thrawn's history is actually really interesting. It
yeah,
really
and
is.
I have become a Thrawn expert.
Okay.
Just in the last several weeks.
In your case, I don't think it's quite being an expert more as like having a borderline fetish, but
I kind of have a crush on Thrawn.
I mean, we're just gonna go with kind and leave it at that. All right.
I have a crush on Thrawn.
Yeah. Like
I
it's
have a
close.
weird crush on Thrawn, and I don't know how I feel about it.
As you said last time, you've got a bit of a fear boner for him.
I do have a fear boner. I do. He's very attractive, and I don't know how to explain it.
I am not qualified to analyze you in any way. Of
Here's
course.
the thing: is I have degrees in psychology, and I am qualified to analyze myself, and I still am questioning my sanity.
Yeah.
In my attraction to Thrawn.
To be fair, when I first read the Thrawn trilogy, you want a character I had a big old crush on? Mara Jade.
I mean, same.
And it is kind of that fear boner thing.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
Like you frighten me a bit.
You could kill me, and I am okay with it.
Kind of liking it.
I kind of am okay with it.
But I think
I mean, Luke also seemed to be okay with it. He's like,
hello.
I mean, kind of don't want you to, but I mean, like, if you gotta
slap me around a little, I mean, I'm cool with it.
if you want to pistol whip me, baby, that's fine.
Yeah. Why are we assuming Luke's a sub in this situation?
I mean,
it's Mara Jade and Luke, so yeah, that makes sense. But
bro,
yeah.
let's be real.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
You're absolutely right. But yeah, I think doing deep dives into characters would be really great. If anyone has any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Characters you want us to dive into, storylines you want us to dive into, shows you want us to dive into. We're definitely gonna do episodes. We're gonna do probably 2 episodes for each of the trilogies. And I say each of meaning the first and second. The third the third is beta canon at best. We will not be including it in canon.
Sure.
And anyone who disagrees with that, I absolutely respect the fact that you like them. It's just this is our show, so we're allowed to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
we make the show, so we can say what we want.
We will attempt to do, and I can't promise we'll release it, but we'll attempt to record actual episodes about 7, 8, and 9 that aren't just us shitting on them the whole time. We'll give it a shot. I can't, based on the sound Lil made, I know how that's gonna go. I can't promise they'll go well, but we're gonna try.
We'll do our best.
But I think next we're probably gonna go Rebels as a good, jumping off into Ahsoka, because that's where we meet Ezra and Sabine and Hera and our favorite war
Chopper,
our favorite war criminal ever. Yeah,
the best.
And I will say, for anyone listening who's not seen Clone Wars or Rebels because they're animated and you assume they're for kids,
they're so not.
I understand that assumption.
Oh my God.
I do get that assumption because they're animated, but they are very not. They're very much not for kids.
They're so not for
They're
kids.
so dark at points.
Shit gets so dark so fast.
Like Clone Wars starts out kind of like it might be for like younger teenagers, but very quickly they abandoned that idea.
Yeah, no. Nope. Shit gets dark. Shit gets dark real fast.
So highly recommend them.
Yeah.
But if you have any suggestions, please leave them on the comments here on YouTube. Our Patreon at this point is a placeholder. Please follow us on it for updates and that kind of thing. But we're currently building our video setup, so at this point we have no content for you to buy on there.
Yep.
It would be silly of us to ask you to purchase episodes that are available for free on YouTube and Spotify. That's just dumb. You can find our YouTube and our Spotify at Babble and Bullshit.
And you can follow us on Instagram at Babble and BS.
That's correct. On the Instagram, you'll be interacting exclusively with Lil because, let's be honest, interacting with me would be boring for everybody involved.
And I have like 20 years of customer service experience, so I know how to talk to people, even though I don't like people.
I have that many years of customer service experience too. I just don't put in any effort in talking to people.
I mean, I'm not saying that I like doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it.
But yeah, please feel free to leave in the comments what you want to hear next. We are definitely gonna do. I would guess Rebels or Mandalorian will be our next shows. But those will be coming out probably a week from now. Our first episode of that will be a week from now. And yeah, this I gotta say, diving deep into the Ahsoka series, we both rewatched it a bunch of times. It was a home run. It's a great show.
100%.
The live cast was perfect.
It was perfection.
It was absolutely
no notes.
Yeah, zero notes. Make the shows faster. I don't want to wait 2 years between fucking seasons, but like
it's fine. Whatever.
Other than that, no notes. The writing was excellent. The acting was even better. The visual effects were stunning. Casting was fucking perfect. I mean, it was just a home run all around.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, that's our Ahsoka episodes.
Yeah, that's it. Damn.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We're going to do more of this shit, obviously, because Star Wars is a very, very deep well to get through.
It's an expansive universe.
Jesus Christ.
Large.
I mean, God, if we get into like all the legend shit, we'll be doing this, just Star Wars, for the next 20 years.
It's so big.
There's so much.
That's what she said.
Sorry, I watched The Office last night, the Dwight's wedding scene.
That's what she said. That's such a good episode.
Such a great episode. It's a wonderful episode.
I mean, because The Office got kind of for a while.
But then Michael came back. Oh.
And that was when it got good again. And then it ended.
I also love that. So Dwight's line before that, I think it's, you said you couldn't come.
Yeah.
And then
That's what she said.
Which doesn't make any sense. That's just perfect.
I mean,
it makes
it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But the fact that it's ridiculous is just wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, tangent. Guys, thank you so much for listening to our Ahsoka episodes. We hope you join us for our episodes on everything else Star Wars. We'll also be covering a lot of other fandoms because there's a lot of other shit we're into.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as Lil actually watches the Doctor Who specials, which
we'll get into it.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. They're so cool. We also have another channel called Hopeless and Bitter, where the two of us who are not in any way dating experts give you dating advice, and whether you take that advice
at your own risk.
Yep. Yeah, at your own risk. Some of it might be really good. Some of it might be really bad. Which is which? We have no idea. That's the fun of it.
Yeah.
But you can find that again it's called Hopeless and Bitter, and it is on YouTube and Spotify. Guys, we thank you again for joining us. I've been Will.
I've been Lilith.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
God damn it, David.